Welcome back, everyone, to the Song of Waves and Wind, where today we are going to conduct a little investigation to find out if there is anything about the owner of that lumber area that is sketchy. It looks like I found the tax collector. Hello there.
These are troublesome times indeed.
You're looking for the tax records for the lumber camp? There are no tax records. They haven't done any business yet. They should get to it, though. Gondor won't rebuild itself out of nothing. Alright, so. No tax records yet. So they haven't been doing any business. Well, I guess that makes sense, considering that they haven't sent out any lumber yet. So I presume everything else is going to be consistent with that. So let's go and check with the stable master, though. Hello there. Anything you know about the lumber camp?
Gondor needs your aid.
I've had some dealings with the man, but not many. He's hired horses to carry lumber out of the Vale. How many times? Oh, no, maybe once every other week, if that. So he has been sending out lumber? But he hasn't been... Oh, let's check with some of his workers.
How may I help you, friend?
The man's face turns grim when you mention Dravron. That man is an absolute good for nothing. All me and my fellows want to do is good honest work, but the boss has us sitting on our rear ends most days. Well, I guess that makes sense if he hasn't been doing any lumber. So we are getting some mixed signals around here. Okay, how about over here?
Dravron has sent out a few shipments of lumber, but the tax collector has no records of any sales.
We have him, Pine Leaf. Come, let us confront him with this information. All right, let's go and confront him. What do you do then? If you're prepared, we should leave now. Yep, let's go.
Armed with the knowledge that Dravron is cheating on his taxes, the Lord Devorin moves to confront the lumber camp's leader. He does not expect things to turn to violence, but in case they do, he has bid you to join him.
Well, maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Once we acquire Dravron's ledger, we will be able to prove his misdoings. As acting Lord of the Vale, it is my right to demand it, and I do not anticipate any trouble, but if he should choose to make trouble, I hope that you're prepared to fight. Are you ready to go? Let me just have a little bite to eat, and I will be ready. Here we go. Now, on our left and on our right. Greetings, little lordling. Are you here to conduct business on behalf of your doddering old father? You will respect my father in my presence, Dravron. And the business I conduct is on behalf of all of Gondor. The entire kingdom suffers. Many have lost their homes. Yet you sit on the lumber that could be used to rebuild those homes. Which is my right, per the agreement your family made to mine generations ago. Indeed, I have verified your claim for myself. So, I will not waste words appealing to your stone heart. By the acting Lord of the Vale, it falls to me to enforce the laws of this land. And to that end, I would like to see your ledgers, Dravron. My ledgers? Yes, by law you must record any sales that you make as well as any receipts that are due to the taxes. Of course, I will have them brought to you. them by the end of the day. And give you time to falsify your records? I will see them now, Drevron. It is my right to demand them. Why, you! Look at him sweat! Thought he had the perfect scheme going. But you got greedy, didn't you, Drevron? You cheat! Silence! You will regret that outburst. You work for me! Not for much longer, by the looks of it. My patience wears thin. Rrr! Men! Escort this lordling off of my land. He will see my books when they are ready, and not a moment sooner. As for you, Dornach, Nathaniel, I will teach you the price of your insolence. Will you now? I think not. You would threaten citizens of Gondor? As Lord of the Vale, I cannot stand idly by. Ooh, he dug the hole deeper, it sounds like. You will surrender yourself. Enough! I am master of this land. Oh, well, the battle started. Okay, hired fighters. Okay, you can help him. I will help these people. Ah! Oh, and you? Okay, well, at least some of them are surrendering. Alright, who's left? Peace, my lord. I am Dornach, and I am something of a leader for the workers here. Not these brigands that Drevron brought to mind us. The good folk who wish to do their part for see Gondor renewed. I commend you and your people for the bravery, Dornach. Thank you for your assistance. I think we will have much to discuss in the coming days. Finally, I didn't think I would be fighting alongside you so soon. As dire as our situation was during the war, I preferred crossing blades with vicious orcs than my own countrymen twisted by greed and delusions of grandeur. But there's no time to dwell on these things. We must summon the guard and the healers, and I must determine how to proceed with the operation of the lumber camp. Give Drevon's outrageous actions, I have all the justification I need to strip the land from his possession. I have a long day ahead of me. Yep, you do. You need me for anything else on this?
Drevron is in custody, as are the brigands in his employ. Hopefully this spells the end of this sordid affair.
I hope so.
Drevron has been arrested, and the lumber camp has been handed over to the laborers.
It's been handed to the laborers who know best how to operate it. Now it falls upon us to support them as best as we can, and they can do what they do best for the benefit of all Gondor. Go speak with Dornach. He has taken charge of the lumber camp. Alright, I'll speak to Dornach. But first, I think I need to speak with his father. I mean the acting lord's father, not Dornach's father. Up in the beacon. It appears that there are still a few spiders around, as I notice on the other side also. But I guess they said it's no longer overrun. But looks like one or two spiders are still about. And it looks like spiders aren't the only trouble that we have up here. Scouting the beacon? Or what? Well, let's head up here and make sure that neither the orcs nor the spiders have got to them. Hello there, sir.
Gondor needs your aid.
I do not remember much these days, but I do remember you. Marhador says in a way of greeting. His voice trembles, and he has given up on stilling the tremor of his hands. But his spirit is brighter than it was the last you seen him. Have you seen my sons? I'm very proud of them. I was afraid that when Derbrand came home, he and Arventhor will quarrel over the lordship of the Vale, but it's as if the thought never crossed their minds. It does me good to see them working so hard for the people that we are charged to protect. Oh, and Larine too, of course. She reminds me of my Howwin sometimes, yes, with her cleverness and fortitude. I am glad my Arventhor has found a remarkable partner in her. If only Darabin will settle down with someone. Are you wed? Oh, forgive me, I do tend to ramble. A symptom of my age, no doubt. Yes, I remember that the last time you were here, the sky was so very angry. Now look at it. Look upon the beauty of the Vale in a kinder light. Look upon Ethring as it was meant to be seen. Look upon Alright, so let's look to Ethring and the Ringlow Vale. Is that a good place to look? See if I can find it. How about I go up here? See, someone else is looking out. This is a good place in which to look at southern Ringlow Vale, alright? A lush forest looks back at you. Well, now, where should I go to look at Ethring? Most likely onto the rocks? This is a good place to look at Ethring. Alright. Now let's have a good look. Ethring looks peaceful, nestled in the heart of the Vale. Well, looks a lot better than it did last time I was here. Nice and peaceful, though a peace that I hope will be interrupted a little bit at the sounds of chopping trees.
These are troublesome times indeed.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I don't have much time left. Oh, don't give me that look. I have lived a long and kind life. I have loved and been loved, and I have the privilege of passing in a time of peace. That is more than most men can claim. If fate were to indulge me, the view would be the last thing I see before I go. Alright? Now, I think that we need to go out and speak with Dornach. Hello there. How's reorganizing the camp going?
How may I help you, friend?
Greetings, friend. This camp has languished for too long, and there is much to do. Speak with others around the camp and see what needs they have. Alright. And what do you need first?
When next you are at Ethring, ask around to see if anyone is interested in earning some coin.
Yes, we will be unable to meet the needs of our neighbors if we don't hire more help. Alright, so we need to talk to some prospective workers. I guess that helps. What else we need? In our absence, the local wolves have grown bold. I cannot have them harassing my crews while they work. I would be grateful if you could discourage the wildlife from approaching us. All right, I shall do that. So deal with the wolves and hire a few more workers. Let's see what we need here.
Gondor needs your aid.
We will need to fell many of the trees around the camp, but it wouldn't do to strip the forest bare. Take this map and explore this area and mark down the locations of any young trees that you find. We'll leave them until they're old enough. Alright, fine. So mark down the young trees because we don't want to cut down all at once. And here we have Bracha.
Catch us more fish to eat, assuming the river favors you.
Ah, if it is a Navrin's friend, thank you for your help during the fight. Are you as good with a rod and reel as you are with the weapons of yours? If so, go find Hallis at the river just to the north of here. She says that Ringlo is being generous today. Catch us more fish to eat, assuming the river favors you. Alright, fine. Catch 4 hardy fish. So, is that really one of the... Yeah, interesting. You can't do the entire set unless you know how to fish. Alright, well, now we have Nathiel.
Gondor needs your aid.
Even in calmer times, logging is a dangerous activity. Fueled by the urgency of rebuilding Gondor, I fear the workers will push themselves harder than they should and subject themselves to unnecessary risks. There are herbs in the woods. One helps with pain and the other with bleeding. I fear that I will need plenty of both of those in the weeks to come. If you have time to spare, help me gather some. Alright then. So let's see, what do we start out with? Well, we'll go into town later in order to do the hiring. For now, let's see if we can check out this tree. This tree is too young to fell. Yeah, a bit young. Anything? Hold on, I see an herb. There we go. A staunching herb to help staunch the bleeding, I would presume. There we go. Ah, here's a smallish tree. Now, let's mark this one. This tree is too young to fell. Alright. Ah, another one that looks like it might be too young to fell. There we go. This lively tree is too young to fell. Okay, now it's a lively tree that's too young to fell. And this spider is not too young to fell. So goodbye. Ah! I found a wolf. Well, let's see if I can ambush it. There you go. Okay, what's your turn? There's a spider drinking in the woods. Alright. I mean the water. This tree thinks it knows better than its elders. Ah, youth. Alright. I'm not sure how I know that the tree thinks it knows better than its elders, but okay. I'm going to have to deal with that bear to make sure it doesn't attack me as I am marking the tree. Yeah. There you go. Now, let's mark this tree. This tree is but a babe and has so much of the world to see. Is it a horn or something? I mean, I suppose. I mean, if it were any other game, I would say it would be impossible for it to pick up its roots and walk around, but this is Lotro, so we can't discount such a possibility. Ah! Looks like there are more herbs on the other side of the river. Let's go and gather those. Any more over here? Actually, are we on the other? Actually, we're on an island. Alright. Oh. More herbs. This appears to be enough herbs for one day. So, I think it's a good time to get along and do some fishing. How's the bite coming along? Well, let's check this out. And catch some fish. I hope this is the proper place. And wait. And wait. I mean, I'm assuming that glowy bit says, alright, fish here. Or as close to here as you can get without going in the water. Alright, that's one down. 3 more to go. And this episode is sponsored by the GoneFishing plugin. Okay, it's not really sponsored by them, but it does seem to be the better way of doing that. Oh, and I get my weapons back at this point. Now, okay, I just make sure I get my shield also. Alright, I don't need to do any more fishing, so what's left? Oh, I have one more tree to mark, don't I? Ah! Here's another youngish looking tree. I don't know how young this one is. This tree doesn't care whether you mark it as safe or to fell or not. You mark it anyway. Okay. Now, let's head on back. Here are the herbs that you ordered.
How may I help you, friend?
Nathiel presses her face into the herbs and inhales deeply. After a prolonged sneezing fit, she accepts the offering with thanks. Okay, there you go. And here we have Oristor. Oh yes, alright. I marked the trees for him.
These are troublesome times indeed.
Thank you. You're welcome. So we have, yes, over here. I dealt with some wolves.
Now, how shall I cook them? Maybe I'll fry them with chips. On second thought, a stew will let me make the most of the fish.
I guess she's going to order the fish. There you go. And here we are. He's the one who asked me to deal with wolves.
How may I help you, friend?
I hope your actions have sufficiently dissuaded the Veil wolves from approaching us. Yep. That's pretty good. So that takes care of all that except for the new hires, which is what we'll do at the start of the next episode of The Song of Waves and Wind.